Wowzers, guys. Wowzers. Welcome to the closed stream. Ho 3.52% up for the big Tesla dog. Look at this thing go. Damn. Damn, guys. It's basically hit it. I guess it's got close enough for my liking. We are 2 days out from earnings for Tesla, and it has just smashed straight into where we expected it to hit. And I've got to say, now we've got a question. Is this a bit of the buy the rumor, sell the fact that Tesla likes to do? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the indices close. Let's talk about the crypto markets and the move to some alts as it seems at the moment. And of course, the discussion about some of these stocks and the recovery that we're seeing throughout the hypers at this stage. I'm sure many of you out there are pretty happy with today's move. Hopefully you switched to being a bull once you saw the lightning bolts get affected last week and we saw that big movement. This looks like it's earnings optimism. Will it hold up? We don't know that one. But what we do know is that we're hitting some key levels and we've got some good moves on plenty of hyper stocks, on plenty of sectors. And I think that no matter how you look at this market right now, it's unlikely to be a true false move. This is moving into the earnings season. And as long as guidance holds up, it should be okay. I actually think Tesla will have decent guidance, but whenever a stock goes into a resistance, you've got to question it. Hey, Justin Van Duser says, missed the morning videos. That's the open, but here today. No worries, Justin. Hopefully you're doing well. Any stocks you could get, go over, set up the tech. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at a few. Jordan says Microsoft. Yeah, let's have a quick look at Microsoft. Only 0.93%, not that great. Will there ever be a red day? 4 days of green. Yeah. So that's a good question, and we'll have a look at that one as well. And then, of course, people want rapid fire. Does the breakout in Roku indicate a continued run this week? Yeah, Roku's been, well, actually, I think Roku was already pretty good. It was already basing, but yes, there's a big one. People are going to start calling Tesla for big positions now, guys. So let's just quickly look over this one. Then we'll go into the indices. Then we'll go into the stocks as we see the close here. And I want to just mention, well, firstly, thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the close. But we have the earnings in 2 days. We are hitting a resistance level. We are at 871, potentially 880. You know, what was today's high? Today's high so far was 875. So we're pretty close to where you'd want to be. Some people will descale this position. I'm sure they will look at doing that. And there are a few reasons why. Let's just look at the earnings. Okay, here's an earnings. Let's think about what happened to the market. So here, the market actually went down, then up. Here's an earnings. The market smashed it. Okay. Here's an earnings. The market smashed it. So what we've got currently is we've got a story of earnings not being that good for the actual market. Earnings smashed it. So what happens is sometimes stocks run into the earnings like they do over here. Now, when you get run into the earnings, what tends to happen is there's that buy the rumor, sell the fact. And we remember we have this very commonly in Apple. And of course, we'll talk about Apple because Apple's got through 145 today, massive breakout for it. And it does those types of things as well coming into the big season. Got earnings, it went down and went up into that. Got earnings, it went nothing and then sat around. It got earnings, it went up. So look, it's always a guess. You're always going to go with the optimistic side. I'm not saying the earnings isn't good for Tesla. It probably is. But you're hitting a technical resistance. And no matter how you look at this, it's done pretty damn well. You've got a big 2-day rally. We've been expecting this now since, well, down here, I guess, and here. These were the two kind of bigger buy zones that we had on Tesla. That's a pretty nice move. What is that percentage-wise? Let's go with from the closeout. So from the closeout, it's about 22%. It's not too bad. It's pretty damn good, actually, in the stock market. It's pretty damn good. So what do you guys think? Let's see what the big brain chat thinks. We've hit close to exactly where we expected. This is the resistance I put down. It may hit tomorrow. It may never hit. It may just come into earnings, and then we'll find out what happens. Do you think this is a buy the rumor, sell the fact event, guys? Or do you think this thing is going higher? Let's see what the chat thinks while I read Christopher Collins' super chat. Very generous, $9.99. Thank you very much, Christopher Collins. Tom, what's up? What's up, Christopher? You could you please have a look at Dick's Sporting Goods, please? I'm feeling very bullish on it for a long-term investment. Thanks. I usually go by Chris. Okay. Well, it's not Christopher Collins anymore. It's Chris. No worries, bro. Thank you so much. We will have a look at this Dick's Sporting Goods stock in just a few moments. So let's have a look what people think about Tesla. So we got denial phase Bitcoin. I'm not sure what the name the name that Tesla sell. Shade Hughes says short Tesla. Mjorn says sold mine just now. I'll come back later. Fair enough. I don't blame. INF says higher. Victor Lau says time to sell. Back down to 800, says PK Subban. And then it'll settle down into earnings, but earnings is going to be nuts again. Street is going to miss very low. Okay, that's talking about the general market going higher because I'm out, says Paul. Time to sell. Net off the hook. Yeah, net's gone mental. Net is gone mental. I mean, I love the stock, guys. I love the stock. I'm very happy that it's up so much, but wow, that's mental. I agree. Sell news, double top, sell the news. So a lot of people think you sell the news. Now, I'm not sure if that's this big brain here or whether that's the traditional kind of experience with a lot of people in the markets right now. But yeah, look, I think it's actually going to be a decent earnings, but at the same time, it's a big move into resistance. I always see it this way, guys. If like say the earnings is glorious, let's say we push 925 or something out of earnings, pretty good move, and you go, damn it, I missed it. Now, obviously, if you're investing in it, you wouldn't sell. You would only maybe descale 1/3, or you would never even sell it. You just say, okay, well, I'm investing in this, I don't care. But if it then breaks out, it generally pulls back and gives you an entry off the top. Just remember that you usually get that conservative entry. Now, Tesla does have a tendency of when it breaks out, like e.g. down here and e.g. here, it doesn't come back. I mean, you can see here the 800 breakout, it just went bang, 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 and went straight through. So you do need to remember that. But in general, you do get a little chancy at the breakouts in terms of a pullback. And that's something that you can keep in mind. All right, let's do Chris's one. He asks about Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's bring that up. What is the code on this? BKS. Not bad, sir. Yes, I see. So 4 hour, let's just talk about it. Some people will draw this up. The way I look at it, some people might say, oh, Tom, 2 hour, it's going to be an inverse head and shoulders. Sure, it is actually. And let's go to the 2 hour actually. Probably even cleaner for people to see what I'm talking about here. So you've got that deeper kind of pullback here. You've got the lightning bolt. That's confirmed. It's actually a good close. It's a good close. Let's take the distance of what the expectation would be from a move like this. Certainly closed above the resistance, which is fantastic. And this is what I'm saying about the market right now. It's unlikely these are all false breakouts. While there may be a small pullback in the market, it's unlikely this market isn't going bullish. The only thing that can kill it now is probably going to be something to do with guidance not being on level. So let's bring in all of the soothsayer kind of abilities here. You can see even then, I mean, it's probably like that is the only thing that's kind of pulling it down. I would say this is a bullish close for it. And it's also got that standard left-hand side trap. We've got that rejection style candle with the high that's taken out with the bullish candle that's going to close today. Many people will look at this as the bullish kind of move for it. Volume sucks, but we don't probably have the true volume here. 3.87% looks relatively strong. 135 and 130 being the TP levels, and you could probably even look for more. Let's go to the weekly, make sure it's been hovering around the 20, which it has. 20 moving average pullback. That sugar rush on the earnings is there. A little bit of optimistic buying into the earnings, which is important because we have earnings coming up in 43 days for this one. So slight increase. Went away from the channel. So you can see here, this was the ascending. It does act fairly technically, which is again a fantastic thing because you can see it pulled back quite a lot here. And yeah, I don't mind it. I think it's okay from a technical standpoint. Obviously, you make your own decisions, Chris. This is not bad at all. Travis Webb says, look at the ramp for the previous all-time high, 900. Huge moonshot candles. to start the move. Looks like it will blast to all-time highs and consolidate much higher. Yeah, the ramp was massive on Tesla last time, and that's what, just go back to this discussion. This is the ramp here that he's talking about, and you do need to be careful. But one thing I will say about this is it had ascending coming into it, had a crazy resistance, and this was after earnings. It didn't actually need earnings itself. So I think the thing with Tesla is it could be like this. And I agree. You get past here, look for the K, look for the big 1,000, because at that point, once you get past this point, it's hard to stop Tesla. And that's because everybody gets involved and they go psycho with options. They go psycho with everything, and it gets let through to the keeper. So we'll certainly look at that. AJ, $2. Is sign.al a buy again? Let's have a look at this one. Sign.al. Does that mean, wait, do I actually put .al and it comes up? No. I assume you mean on the London Stock Exchange. Oh, I don't know about this stock, if this is the one. Well, it hit the resistance. Obviously, I think that's probably what you were trading. That's a good closure breakout. Nice trade. Great trade. Probably why sometimes you're better off just taking what you see rather than what lots of people will think, which is up here. It's a good level. We must have diced that up for some reason. It's not a buy yet. No, not from a technical standpoint. If you're looking from a technical standpoint, you're looking at it getting back above this level here. Once it gets above these resistances and these moving averages, that's when it gets stronger, man. So you really need it above that level. All right, let's go over our markets because we've got strong markets coming into the back end here. Let's have a look at the US 500. Okay, so US 500, boom, boom, boom. 44.84. Now, this is important because we have that 44.90, this level here. Let's just draw this out. This was our zone originally as a resistance that we believed would sell previously. Now, we do know that this is a key resistance zone. So the question for a lot of people is going to be, are we in, big bull? Is this going to be a fake move? I'm bull. Should I be scared? Look, I think I've detailed on this channel a few times now that this was huge. We had 3 rejection weeks on the weekly. We couldn't, fault it once it broke through here. And that's why it's getting that rally, because the market's an optimistic beast and it's moving through. And a lot of people say, but Tom, the volumes come down, all these things. Yeah, that's true. It's all going to happen like that. And usually when you go bullish again, the volume does drop off. What I'm looking for is, of course, this 44.90 just being a bit of a resistance. If you're in, would I play the game of trying to pick this thing coming back? No. I mean, this is a very bullish looking close. I mean, you look at this and it's a bullish pickup candle, and some people say, oh, it could be a hanging man. Could be anything. But these are the ways that I see it right now. 44.20 probably going to be pickup support should it come back through. And overall, 44.90 being another key resistance. Let's look at it on the SPX so you can see it clearer. So here are our gaps. Now, we know that gaps do close. I've actually got some great information. This is shared in the public group, by the way, by a gentleman called Ian. And Ian W., let me just see if I can pull this up. He's done some great research, guys, and I think you will enjoy this. I'll put it in today's video. Let me just get Ian's discussion 1 second. Here we go. All right. What a champ. So, cool information here. This is about up fills. Now, very important, up fills. Basically, this is a day where you've got a candle like this, and then you've got a candle that gaps up. Now, what he found when he went from 1927, 1927, so this is good stats, to 2021, obviously 15th of October, is he found that over a 30-day period, 75% of gaps fill, okay? So 75% of gaps fill over that period. Now, you'll notice, look when the big percentages of the gaps fill. So over 20% of the gaps filled in the first day, 10% of the gaps filled the next day. So that's basically 30% of all gaps were filling in this time. That first week, and then look at the steady drop off in terms of what happens. Very, very steady in terms of that drop off. You go straight back down, little percentage here, little percentage here, and then at the end. Now, obviously over 30, you get that full kind of 90% kind of gapping thing. I'll have to just ask him what he's done over here. But in general, this area over here is incredibly important, because if we have such a huge fill of gaps in the first kind of week, and then it doesn't tend to, it's more like a crash gap fill after that. And I think that's the important thing about these fills. If it doesn't happen quickly, it becomes less likely, and then more likely, of course, that the actual finalized gap will be after 30 days. So you get a market like this. Like that. So that round kind of area. And this is great study, because if we know these types of stats, we know what to expect. We know, okay, in the back of our mind, yes, it's statistically likely it comes down, but it's also statistically likely that it gaps, but it's also going to do it in the first couple of days. If it doesn't, then it's probably going to fill a lot later than that. Let's refresh here the maximum pain for this week, just so we know where the options are at in terms of the markets. Now, as I've told you guys quite a few times, you'd better off not actually trading for maximum pain. So what that means is you're better off not always targeting it. But notice how the market's gone suddenly more bearish. Isn't that interesting? So maximum pain here is 443 for the 18th, which is today's close, 443. Let's go to the close on the 22nd. 442.5. So let's go back over to our closure, and then we'll get into the stocks. I know you guys are here for that, and we've only got about 15 minutes. Let's bring up that SPY. So what was it? 443. So 443 is maximum pain. That actually means one thing. Well, actually, what does that mean, chat? Let's see if the chat knows. Chat room, do you know what it means if 443 is suddenly our maximum pain? What have they done? That's correct, Thad. So as Thad says, over 30 days is 18%, remaining 9%. Yes, but we've got to remember that you can fill through a crash. So it becomes statistically not worth looking at, because a crash can fill a lot of that. Basically, what it means is there's a whole bunch of puts that got put in the market. Someone's been, probably retail, has been still going bearish. And I think this is important, because you can tell me based on your friends, based on people in the markets. Have you been chatting to other people? Have people been bearish here? Let's say we got this movement here. Especially with the lightning bolt, you couldn't be bearish. Are people still bearish in the markets? Because if they are, which it seems like they are, based on the fact that there's puts, that just crept up. 443 suddenly becomes max pain. The only reason you can creep a market up, in terms of max pain, is because you've added more puts. So while this market's been going long, people are buying puts. They're insane. Stop it. I mean, maybe they'll be correct, but I don't know about that. Like, this is optimism. It's earnings. We talked about the fact the bears were running out of time, and they just didn't get it done. So we've got gaps. This gap here would be the best case scenario for a market bull really right now. You get that kind of pullback. You get what you want. I think 442 is going to be a big issue here. And if you're looking at max pain theory, that's where you're hoping it comes to by the end of the week. So you're kind of hoping it hits this 449, finds some resistance, sells off, comes here, and then goes long. That seems to be one of the better scenarios. But in general, 20 exponential, 50 exponential on the weekly, something you want to obviously look at when you're looking for these bigger pullbacks. Let's get through some stocks, because whether we look at the Nasdaq, which is at the exact, it's just catching up. Nasdaq's going more crazy because it's playing catch up. So remember, lightning bolt already ensued, bullish, actually pulled back quite nicely this morning. Hit that. I was hoping for about a 15,000 flat. Got about 15,047. If you were trading futures, it got a little bit lower. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Nice pullback. And then now it's going towards that level up here, which is around that 15,350. So let's talk about some stocks. And I will get this. Most people, what was that? Most people I know were bearish last week. Yeah, look, I think it was fair to start with the week bearish because you saw that pull round, but once you get the change, you can't ignore it. Look, I wanted 14,050. Okay, I wanted it. Would I have made more money if I went to 14,050? Sure. It would have been better for me. But how can this was our first, target, the 20, but realistically for us, and it always has been this, is we've always had this bottom trend line in. And we always knew this was the first buy level because it was a solid trend line. I mean, the thing is a beast. We've seen it. And I've always said also another good thing about this trend line is what's the best thing about it? It's going to set us TPs in the future because we know it's working. It's being a beast. So what does it do? It gives us resistances in the future so that we can know where we're scaling out of positions, where we're going to. This is the beautiful thing about TA. It's a reoccurring event. I mean, do not ignore the crazy giant ascending. I mean, I actually put it on Twitter. I don't know how my Twitter is. Where's my Twitter? It's somewhere. But I actually put it on Twitter and I said, what do you guys think? I actually put an image of it. So look, we might always hope for more, but we cannot ignore it. Let's talk about Apple because Apple is a big closure out here. So it is going into this little resistance, but overall, this thing's come back. Many people would have scaled into it this morning, I'm sure, when it cracked through 145. So we've got through 145. We're at 146.69. Fairly strong closure out here for the apples. Let's just quickly remove this. We don't need that. And this now starts to say, okay, we've got the turnaround story. We've got rejection weeks. Remember, it pays to look at the weekly the most if you're an investor or a swing trader. And there's all the buying that happened. Now that we're 1 through 145, is there more gas in the tank for the biggest stock or best stock in the market in some ways? We've got earnings in 10 days. What tends to happen, guys, with earnings and Apple? Let me know now. You should all know this by now. What is the general consensus on the street for this? Mohammed Al-Masari, AED, $25. Hi, Tom. Not a big fan of AMC, but the technicals are looking better. Yeah, cool, man. We'll have a look at that in a second. What do you think? Also, where do you see Amazon going? Oh, I like the Amazon play, Mohammed. You in the private group, Mohammed? Thought you were. Watch my video yesterday. I went psycho about it. What do I think about Dow theory? Yeah, it's good. Very good. So Apple goes up. Yeah, generally goes up. That's right. Runs into earnings. That's correct. So it's more of a buy the rumor, sell the fact. Let's look at some of the stats from before just quickly. Then we go through some stocks here. So here's earnings. See how it sells off. Here's earnings. See how it stagnates. Here's earnings. See how it sells off. Here's earnings. See how it sells off. Ramps in. Here's earnings. This one was a good one. And that was during, of course, the pandemic. So if you're looking at the general stats, runs in, crappy, runs in, mediocrity, runs in, crappy, runs in, crappy. And what do we know about Apple? They've already said they're going to have chip shortages. They've already said that they've got issues. So their guidance might be a little bit worse than you expect. And if their guidance is worse, then that's a big deal. So let's think about pullbacks here. Let's think about the story today. Many people will already have been going, okay, I like the apples. I like the base. I like what I see this morning. I'm going to take that one. We are coming into a resistance at the end of the day. So I could actually see something like this occurring where it comes back down, tests the 145. If we get a small pullback in the market due to the 44.90 on the S&P 500, and then we get that turnaround into earnings. So we have about 10 days here for this thing to ramp, and it certainly looks like it's going strong there. Mohammed wants to know about Amazon, and yes, I am a fan of the Amazon into the November period. So October, notoriously meh for Amazon statistically, but that doesn't matter because we know November is amazing. We got the seasonality the other day for it. Let me just pull this up, give you a bit of value here, sir. TR-seasonality AMZN. All right, let's bring it up and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, cool. So we were always angling for Amazon because November is 80% bullish start to end of month. This is just stats taken over 20 years. We've got strong November, obviously usually weak October, but we had the weakness ensuing over here. It's been weak for some time, so the left-hand side is very weak indeed. And the November run is notoriously good. And that's, of course, because of Black Friday, because of people buying early. And I have it at a guess that everyone's buying their Christmas faster this year due to supply shortages. They're worried about it. They're buying early. So lightning bolt certainly confirms, no doubt about that one from a technical perspective. Let's go to the daily. And this is kind of like a lightning bolt into a very bullish kind of thing. So if you're a swing trader and you're looking at this, you're going, okay, lightning bolt, I'm very happy with that. I'm scaling in, I'm scaling the close. Maybe I'm looking for a pullback and going long as well. That would be very cool. All of that's good. But the great thing is, imagine if we break through this top resistance over here. 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance. We've got a story that's incredibly cool towards even all-time highs. And I'm thinking like 3,900, 4,000. People went crazy on it over here. I think this is the time. Amazon seems to be sleeping. Not a solicitation to buy, not a solicitation to do nothing. You do your own stuff. But from a technical perspective, if we take the double bottom, which is the bigger pattern, we think about the story, we think about the left-hand side. Just remember this. You could have been buying in August of 2020 and you'd still be down in Amazon. That sucks. That is terrible. So certainly there. Let's just do some rapid fire. Then I'll answer the questions here that you guys have. Thank you so much for coming out. The almost 800 people we had before. Thank you for giving us a like and everything else. And it'll be good. It'll be good, good, good. So we'll go through a couple of stocks. Let's smash some stocks out. So we've got Square. Just do a bit of rapid fire into the close. It's not a bad close. Relatively bullish for it. It's not fantastic. Let's go to Google. Google certainly coming through very, very hard. End phase just hit the first resistance. Hopefully a few of you guys have been on this one. We talked about it here. We talked about the ramp into the 179. Certainly hit it. There could be even more. Remember, it gets through this. Where's it going towards? 195. Fantastic stuff here from end phase. Very nice. People asked about Microsoft breaking new high. Yep. I mean, it's very strong stock thanks to the buyback. I don't really like the percentages here, but as an investment stock, obviously it's solid. ARK K going through a very key point, which just shows the market is really recovered as well. Support, support, support. Kind of went down. It's come back through. This is where a lot of people ramp back into these types of stocks. So you can see this is very important for ARK K in terms of the break. We'll get rid of all these Beam, CRISPR, IBBs. I think they're not going to go just yet. Let's get rid of those. SPLK, nothing's changed. Still slow and steady. So have a look at the TDOC. Does that look any better? So TDOC, another one that went to the kind of despair hell. And I think it's still got problems with the downward trend line. So we'll leave that into the close. But it's getting very, very interesting. JD and the other Asian stocks have generally been improving. Twilio still looks pretty good on our charts. There's nothing wrong with that closure out. NVIDIA looks to be ramping back. That closure on the Thursday last week was pretty okay. Lightning bolt started. Let's have a look at pins. So pins. Ooh, pins, 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 pins. Okay. All right. First stage. We've been, God, how long have we watched this thing for? That's the first decent candle. Let's look at the story here on pins. The story is pretty solid. Oh, earning 17 days. Okay, good. Is that right? Earning 17 days away? Yeah, first. Good, because I don't want it close. Lightning. Okay, so buying, buying, buying. Good turnaround. It's gotten back above, which is super important. We're just looking here for recovery, guys. The pins. It's gotten above. We've got kind of like our baseline. The good thing when you buy kind of the deeper value is you have pretty solid supports. Yes. That's actually not bad. What do you guys think about pins? Matthew Harris, Australian $5. Could you have a look at Flow AMS on the daily? I got in at the close, but I'm debating whether I waited for a too conservative an entry. Okay, we'll have a look. Yes, that's a fairly decent closure. I mean, the story here is basically we haven't broken above this zone in a while. We've got rejection, we've got rejection, rejection. Now we've gone, no, 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 stuff that. We've gone through the lows, we've gotten above the 20 moving average. It looks okay. Let's check out Roku. Roku with the full bounce here, 6.22%. Yeah, I've liked Roku since we got through the 20. Again, that's been a big kind of problem for it. People are asking if there's more ramp in Roku. I mean, I think certainly. I mean, that from the technical standpoint, yes, there's a little bit of problems here, but if you're in it for a little bit of longer haul, like 367 and 400 become open resistance levels. So you'll notice here you've got that 400, you've got that 367, 368 to hit the 200 daily, and there's some nice stuff there. Let's go over to Etsy. Etsy breaking out, another one. They're all of look out, hit that trend line. A little bit lower than we wanted it to go. Obviously, we wanted it to hold here, but we've been bullish on Etsy from a TA perspective for a while. And remember, it has just gone back to those highs. So again, a very strong elasticity here through this stock. I quite like Etsy. Anything in the consumer spending kind of market tends to recover, do well at this period. And if we're looking at those, it looks quite good. DKNG still stuck in living hell down here. So we'll wait for it to break through that 51 to get it back on. Intel getting very close. We'll check out that tomorrow. Airbnb, whatever. Still just doing its thing. Spot is fine. People ask about Netflix. For me, Netflix has kind of done its cool thing. We wanted it to go here. It did. I'm cool with that. I know there's earnings in one day, and I think it'll do okay. But overall, there's more exciting stocks in the market. PayPal's a big closure here. This is a fairly large closure. Double bottom, straight back through, gone bullish. Certainly one that looks much, much better on the charts. What do you think about the PayPal, guys? Not bad there. ZM 274, so it's still struggling. Let's have a look at Zillow. Zillow still looks marginally pretty good. It's gotten through that downtrend. Let's look at the weekly story. Oh, wait, it's gone back down. Let's have a look at the weekly story. Yeah, I still think it looks okay. Is this earnings? Why is it down 9.45%? Did they come out with guidance and smash it? This looks okay from a technical perspective, closure out. So why is it down 9%? Maybe you need to go look at that. I don't know why it's down that much. This has got to be they've given bad guidance. How can it be down that much? Someone will know in the chat. We'll find out. Net's insane. Be careful on that one, guys. The ramp is too much. AMD, obviously the strong breakout last week's leading on to further gains ahead of the earnings in 8 days. We might even be at 122 before the earnings. Now, people ask about AMC. Does it look better, Tom? Let's have a look here. Yes, that's a huge close for it. It's a big close. So we got above this level. We hit into the 42, which we expected, 41.81. I haven't changed any of these lines exactly where we saw. It's a huge closure. Huge closure for AMC. I see why you're looking at it from a technical perspective. Let's check out Flow, AMS. I guess that means American Exchange or something is what you're saying. Have you gotten into it daily? Got in at the close. All right. Is this the stock we're talking about? Waited for too conservative entry. If you're in this stock and this is the one you're talking about, no way. You should be, around here is probably where you marginally enter. Long leg doji, bullish. Mohammed says I got a similar target on Amazon. Yeah, I'm not sure about this Flow. It's not the coin, is it? Can you please just let one of the mods know? Get one of the mods to message me. No, the Amsterdam exchange. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I know you said AMS, but I didn't know what it meant. All right. So Amsterdam exchange. Well, it's a great closure out, isn't it? This is a big deal. Very nice. Great trend line. So you're wondering whether you're a bit slow to get into it. Let's look at the 4-hour. I know we closed, by the way. I know we've gone over, but I still had to go through so many of those stocks. Hopefully, some of you guys have some positions in a few of those closures. They're not too bad, some of those. Resistance across the board, closure out. No, I don't think you were too late. I mean, if I was looking at it from a buying perspective, I think I would have really recognized this trend line. I would recognize that that's showing the bullishness. This closure out might have been a marginal entry. And then I would have just kept following it by the trend line. And then you're taking a closure out above here, which has just happened. So I don't think it's bad. I mean, you can't trade every position because you'll get stuck in so many bad ones if you keep taking marginals. So I don't blame you for taking the close. I think it's okay. You've waited for the cross, you've waited for the recovery, and now hopefully you get rewarded with, a quick 37. Good luck. So you want AT&T Darth Vader would like? Sure. Wow. It just shows you can't buy. Look, the problem with these businesses, AT&T, you can't make money, guys. You cannot grow properly. I don't like this stock. I haven't liked this stock in a long time. I know there's a div play on it. Jeez. Telcos are just hard, aren't they? I think it's pretty hard. Coming into earnings and going down like this, I don't like it. I could see it going 24 before it does anything else. I mean, that's a huge break below. Ugh. Does that scare you guys? I mean, that is a scary chart. PK Summer says, Tom, can you start rapid at the beginning of the stream? Yeah, I guess we could. Coming into the close, I guess we could. Good feedback. Fair enough. Fair enough. TTD, another one of our favorites. Just want to have a quick look here. Yep, not too bad. AMC, that was surprisingly decent. I wonder what happened with Z. I don't have any Z, but I wonder what happened with it. Have we done Tesla? Yeah. Kunal says, have we done Tesla? I'm sure we have hit. It hit the target. That's correct. It hit close enough. And probably going down after earnings. Yeah, that's the thought process that we were going through before. Did anyone say what's happened with Z? And then we'll do it. Zillow Group was falling sharply Monday after saying it won't sign a new contract to buy homes through the end of the year. Oh, so it was guidance, some kind of stupid thing. Sherlock Holmes says, PayPal burned me twice, so I'm good off that. Fair enough. Fair enough, man. Experimental perception, $5. Looking to get into Roblox. Thoughts? All right, let's go back over to Roblox. Surprisingly low, this stock. But doesn't surprise me. We have a rule, and the rule is I hate IPOs unless you get into them early. That's what I think about these Robloxes and these things. Because you can't trade them technically, guys. They don't remember technical trading is not only to do with liquidity, because you need huge liquidity to make it trade this way, but you also need a lot of left-hand side. You need previous history, previous support. Otherwise, you're just trading key psychologicals. Roblox earnings in 21 days. I'd be doing some social arb on this one, man. Social arb is your best thing. Go and have a look. Find out whether there's been more people watching the videos recently. Find out whether the recent patches have been strong. I mean, whether kids are playing it out of control, whether the Twitch streamers are being watched, whether, I don't know what else. The YouTube is more popular than normal and stuff. That's going to be pretty important to earnings where the microtransactions have come in hard. This technical kind of side of things. I mean, what can we say about this? It's not, other than that, which is it's broken the downtrend, I guess you would say, a bit better. But other than that, just nothing much going on there. No innovation in, yeah, AT&T. Sherlock Holmes probably says it better than anyone else. It's a dividend trap. Sherlock Holmes says, Tom, I missed the AM streams. No, yeah, I can't do it, bro. I wish I could. I don't live in America. It's not possible. It'll kill me. I'm sorry, guys. It will. Now, ultimately, I like making my daily videos. I trade the Australian market. Doing 2 AM streams ain't my, so ain't what I'm looking at doing, unfortunately. I would love to, but it's just not possible at the moment. We'll go back to the AM streams. We'll do, basically, it'll be 6 months closed, 6 months open on this channel. I hope you can understand. I have to call a code 3 and head to the bathroom to catch the close stream. Well, appreciate you being here. Move to the US. Well, we can't even leave out of houses yet. So what are you going to do? Croc should be good. Yeah, Croc's been incredible, hasn't it? That's the one I want. Croc. Is it Croc, yeah? There it is. Crocs. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly 20, another one that's hit the mean reversion. Earnings very soon, 3 days. The market's anticipating it. It's excited. It's excited for that one. Like the closing streams better? Yeah, well, we've got a bit of variety here. Ranger A hating on the AT&T, and Donkin Dave saying AT&T the dividend trap. It's certainly an optionable stock. That's right. And Tom, can you please look at ETH? Yes, we will. So today's close, another strong one, another great, positioning for certain stocks. We saw a couple of interesting ones such as pins, AMC, surprisingly back. This is a fairly big close. I mean, from a technical perspective, it's hard pressed to look at this and not go, okay, looks a bit better. Probably Snap, bit surprising. Ahead of earnings, maybe there's some announcement here. I'm not sure. That's a surprising movement there towards the negative side, considering mostly the market is positive. And the big ones, the Apple, the Amazons, the Microsofts giving good percentages today. The N phase continuing on. I just can't think of any other. These are pretty good. People ask about Disney. Let's have a look at Disney. Disney is not on my card list at the moment. It's a big boomer stock, and it had this incredible growth. We've got to remember because of Disney Plus, and they basically sold out on all of their franchises. It's going to be hard pressed for Disney to get back to the levels of hype it was over here with the current numbers. And I think that's why I kind of just went, you know what? We're done, Disney. We'll come back to you in the future. Good support here coming into earnings. I'm not overly optimistic on this stock. I like the stock, but I'm not overly optimistic onto it. You know why? Because I got Marvel burnout, guys. I haven't even watched the last films. I'm not watching WandaVision. I mean, it might be good. I watched Loki. That was all right. I'm certainly not watching half of these Ant films. Ant-Man versus the Wasp, Ant-Man versus this. I don't know. It's not my kind of thing. And there's a whole bunch of these films. There's too many of them, and I don't care. I watch 1 in 5 right now. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are feeling that. The burnout's real. They sold their franchises out. It's kind of like Westerns in the 70s or 60s. Remember those Western films when they just made like thousands of them? And then it all became too much. Black Widow was pretty good. Yes, I'm not going to watch that, but I'm sure they're fine. I just don't care anymore as much as I used to. Cheap Chip says Disney's 100th birthday in 2023. That could be cool. Finkin79 says, yep, can get the sub, watch all the good ones in a month and then not renew, no moat. I'd say they have a moat, but it's children's programming. Very, very good. All right, let's look at the crypto markets. So firstly, Bitcoin. Let's hope it stabilizes around here. So great run, guys. I love the king. The king is good. We were proven correct here as a community. Well done, guys. You got big brains. People said, oh, Bitcoin kills the environment. Probably does to a degree. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. The point is, it's the bloody index of the crypto markets currently, and you can't change that overnight. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin's now, and also the boomers like to buy the one they know, and they only know Bitcoin and Ethereum anyway. They don't know what Doge is. So money inflow here has been strong. I would have it at a guess that it is a little bit of big money coming in as well, which is kind of exciting into the markets. And this is good news. So I would like it to consolidate. I'm a fan of Bitcoin, but I don't really want it going to 78 just yet. I like to see the whole coin market do its little dance. So we have the Ethereum, which hit close to that 4K. Look at that. Oh my God, it's almost picture perfect. Let's just quickly zoom in here. Oh. 39.70 it hits. A little bit of a pullback. Again, money flowed into that. We got some, movements into some of these other ones. We've got the dots, KSMs. We've got the ADA, which is a little bit sick right now. I want to start seeing this move into the alts start to occur. So Ethereum's hit that resistance and it's come back down, had strong buying. Next stop for Ethereum is going to be past that 4,000 level. Once it gets through there, where do we go? Well, good news is you've got kind of precedent of 4,400. So I would like this to consolidate in here. And then some money come back and hit the 20. That would be fantastic. And then some money to then flow into the alts and do the little dance that it does. And then Bitcoin go back to ramping again, come into November. That would be the ideal. If you're looking at it from a technical perspective, there's no real, amazing purchases through here. Most of the eyes are going to be on the alts, which is where there's more risk, but there's obviously more return. How are Bitcoin shorts looking? Yeah, let's have a look at BTC shorts for you. BTC shorts very low. It's not the whales doing this. Like the whales are bullish. These bigger kind of short position whales that used to manipulate the market. One of the good things about this is eventually, well, right now they've got big wallets, but what will happen over time is they will become less relevant and it will actually go to Wall Street. And options expiry will become more relevant, etc. And we'll have to actually rotate as the market becomes more sophisticated, because right now it's ridiculously unsophisticated. It's buy BTC, buy Ethereum, move to altcoins, move to really speculative coins, go back to BTC, rinse, repeat. That's the way that people do it. And that's not sophisticated. That's actually very basic human psychology. The new June looks amazing. Yeah, I'm going to watch that. That's going to be good. Can we go deeper? I mean, there's not much for us to really go here in these coins. I think BTC is going strong. I think it's going to have a good back end. This is my personal opinion only. A good back end to the year. I could even see an 80, 90,000 on it, maybe even higher, maybe even like a 95. By the end of the year. I actually think it could be a very strong back end here. But yeah, Ethereum, these are the key levels. Nothing changes. 3,600-ish is still kind of where I think there'll be buyers. 4,000 still where I think there's going to be sellers. If we go into the 2 hour or something, we might find something better there. Let's go have a look at the quick coins. I think that's what people want to go to. Let's go to the coin market cap. Scott Morgan, $5. Apologies for being completely off topic, but I got my hands on my first ever prototype 1988 EA Sports Madden football game. Think it's valuable. So it's a NES game, yeah? I actually know a fair bit about this market. That's okay. So I'll tell you in collecting of video games, I mean, firstly, if it's a prototype, it's always worth more. But if it was like a Mario, it's worth a hell of a lot more because it's a very well known thing. Sports games are not technically very collected in the field. So generally speaking, in video games, I mean, it's like anything, it evolves. So originally, video games were just like, if you have the box, it's worth slightly more than just the cartridge. Then the box becomes worth tons more than the cartridge. Then it becomes sealed, and the sealed version is worth the most. And that's when you know you're basically in a collector's market. You're in a fully fledged collector's market, which is where we are now with game collecting. I have a decent collection in that stuff. I like it all. I mean, any investment's cool, yeah. I got comics, I got games, I got stocks, got property, whatever. It's all good. Maybe I'll show you some of it on stream sometime. So let's go through some of these coins. So we've got the ADA, the Bitcoin, obviously DOT coming through. And one of my big things here in the next type of movement is going to be probably looking for coins that have big bases. So that is, they've actually got ecosystems built around them. So the Avalanches, the Uniswaps, these types of ones have become popular. I mean, Avalanche, I thought a while ago would be popular, and it certainly has been. These ones with the systems behind them are the big ones. Whereas, VETS really lost a lot of its charm because of what it's trying to fix. This and whatever, we'll get rid of that one. And yeah, when we're scrolling through here, these coins, I think you've got to be a little bit more selective in the future on the stock that you buy or the coin that you buy. And some coins are good, and some coins are going to be maybe not in this top 100 come the end of it. And I think one of the things you're looking for in most of these coins is ecosystem. Like, let's have a look at Uniswap here for a second. So we go all, and you'll see that Uniswap went up to that 43. It went down as low as, according to this line chart, about 1460. It'd be a lot lower than that at one point. We go over to the 1 year. You want to look for announcements in the future. I mean, this market's still incredibly unsophisticated. Like, why did DOT go up so much the other day? I would say a lot of it's got to do with Akala. And Akala is something I'm a big fan of, and that's a DeFi project on the DOT exchange. And basically, this project needed DOT, and DOT became very popular, and all of a sudden DOT shot up. Now, I don't know if it's the only reason. It's probably not, but I would guess that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. That's very cool, Scott. I think that it's unique. So you would have to, what I would do is put it on a forum with collectors. They'll value it for you. They don't care. Just put it on a forum. Go in the Facebook groups, chuck it on there. Say, hey, I've got this. If you're interested. PK Subban says, in a bear market, 95% of the coins will go to trash. That's correct. A famous one is one that I looked at. It was called, I think it was Icon back in 17. And Icon went to about $14 a coin, and then went all the way back down to 10 cents. So that's when you want to be in the king and the better ones. Finkin79 says, so random. Yeah. It has to be unopened. It doesn't, not for a prototype. It doesn't. Prototypes they're always opened. Yeah, you've got a very specific one. See you, Duncan Dave. Catch you, mate. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging around with us. Ripple has some interesting news releasing towards the end of the year. Yeah, Ripple and XRP in general and all these things. I think that the problem with this coin is still always going to be the SECs floating all over it and stuff. And that's the biggest issue always with this one, as we know. It's still looking decent. I mean, it's come back to that resistance support area of around $1.03, which has been purchased off, but nothing there. I like still, I mean, for me, this one's here, I think is lagging DOT at the moment. This is KSM. This is the coin that basically starts all other coins on the network. And you'll notice it's getting close to a resistance breakout. So there are opportunities in the alts. This one's at least linked to a better one. But Bitcoin and Ethereum look to be consolidating at this point. Look, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Any crypto connected stocks like Riot, Hood, Coin? No, I don't like any crypto connected stocks. I'd rather just have the crypto. I mean, if you're going to pick one, this would be always the pick at the moment, just because it's solid. The rest of those, like Riot and stuff, they're more why you only own them if you can't get access to Bitcoin. Someone explained to me the other day, oh, well, Tom, I have to trade these stocks because of something to do with tax. And I understand that, but I don't know your tax in the country. GG's here tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, big close here in the markets. Overall, we are still bullish into these markets. Do we expect a little pullback? Yeah, I guess we expect at least one red at some point. But if you've been long, if you've understood the swings, if you understood the the sector breakouts and stuff, all these sectors, materials, what else have we got? Like industrials, every one of these sectors is breaking out here. That's why I think we're seeing such strength in the market. It's all looking much better. And I don't really feel like any of these are giving false breakouts. I mean, it's very rare that we get false breakouts through all of these kind of positions. And these are serious moves. I mean, look at this resistance. We know it's a serious resistance. We know it got rejected. It based and then it broke above. You can't usually fake that move. And I think that's something that's very important for you to understand as a trader or an investor in the markets. Is generally an investor will pick dips, they'll pick certain levels, and there are certain key levels that I do in mentoring where I just say, okay, these are the zones that you would always focus on, and you would basically whip positions in based on your position sizing that you want to do. And overall, when it changes, it changes. And at this stage, I can't see the bear side coming into the markets. Only guidance can really get us back down, or something new in the news, or a new Evergrande situation, etc. Thanks so much, everybody. Congrats if you're in Tesla. Well done. Give you a clap. Fantastic work, guys. Having the big brains, having the fortitude to hold, and of course, also being able to follow the quality technicals. Bye for now. Thank you very much, John Moore. Appreciate it. And Rory Ross says, I've seen kids play Roblox finally. It is even stupider than I imagined. I haven't played it. All right. Catch you guys. See ya.